Today I am going to speak with Swami Chidananda Ji, who is a spiritual teacher and has been writing for last 4 decades on Indian philosophy. He has directly worked with Swami Chinmayananda Ji and has been a trustee of Krishnamurthi Foundation. The most people love about him is the simple way he explains complex topics. So let's go on and learn from him.
Hello everyone, Namaste, welcome to Zindagee ka Tadka. Today we are here with Swami Chidananda Ji, who I really admire. Swamiji, welcome so much. It's a great honor and privilege to be able to talk to you.
It's my pleasure.
So, Swamiji, one question which I initially had was that you are a sannyasi right now,
Yes.
right? So, and Lord Krishna says in Gita that maybe what he recommends is that this is good for grihasthas also to actually achieve the ultimate.
Yes.
And he actually says that maybe that marg is even better. So then why did you or why does one choose to become a sannyasi? Is that an easier way to do it, or it's a harder way to do it, or it's more pure way to do it? And in that question, like if you can maybe throw some light on maybe whatever the relevant parts of your early years are there, like if that has shaped something into this.
It might be of interest for you to know that originally my idea was not to become a sannyasi.
Okay.
I left my job in HCL, Hindustan Computers Limited, where I was a hardware R&D engineer, and joined the Chinmaya Ashram. And I told Swami Chinmayananda Ji that I don't want to become a Swami. I want to go back to industry.
Okay.
But I want to enrich myself with this knowledge. And he laughed. He said, all right, you may go back, you may marry, but please know, there is nothing called 24 hours marriage. He said like that. So I joined the ashram, and after that also I taught at a college, engineering college in Bangalore for 3 years. My idea was not to become a Swami. So you have begun with a very interesting question. But finally, what happened was I found my first love was Vedanta, and I wanted to go deeper and deeper into it. And Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda Ji in 1989 said to me, "Are you ready to embrace this path fully?" I then said, I fully went over for being a spiritual teacher. So, to answer the question philosophically, both are good as a grahastha or as a sannyasi, and the factor that determines what one should do is one's own disposition, one's own personality. One should honestly ask oneself, will I be able to do well in this role or in that role? It is role playing. Attachments happen wherever you go. Even sannyasis have their own attachments.
Is it?
With the ashram, with the people in the ashram, with the so-called devotees or organizers. And so where they travel, they meet people. Therefore, attachments cannot be just disposed of by taking sannyas. And many grahasthas, even being a mixed family, are able to spend a lot of time for spiritual practices. Therefore, I think one must understand one's own personality and one's disposition and the role that is to be played. For me, in becoming a sannyasi and a spiritual teacher, one factor that helped me decide was I pretty much soon saw that I am very comfortable giving lectures, and that role of going and teaching. As I said, for 3 years I taught electronics and communication at Bangalore Institute of Technology, which also I loved.
Okay.
But when I asked myself honestly, given the choice, would I like to teach electronics, semiconductors, or these analog circuits, etc., or would I prefer to teach Vedanta? And my heart said, I love to teach Vedanta, especially with Sanskrit, shloka, mantra, opening words, explaining.
Very nice.
That's how, after 3 years of a fairly happy time at Bangalore Institute of Technology, I made myself over to this.
I see.
I would very much agree with Sri Krishna. It is good both ways, and majority of people would be more comfortable, they would succeed in a more eminent way if they go for grahastha's path, but go for bhakti and go for in whatever way they can.
Yeah, I'll come to
practice.
the bhakti part of it. But one thing you just mentioned that Swamis also have attachments, etc. So, do you also get desires and all, and then how do you deal with them? Because
Yes.
Grihasthas would get lot many more desires. Maybe it
Yes.
may not be true that you get zero desires. Maybe desires
Exactly.
come,
Yeah.
and then you know the art of dealing with them. So, I just want to understand your.
Our own Shastras are the guide. We also get desires, we also get disturbed, we also get angry at times. So, we also have personalities which are not much different from you Grahasthas, but our environment is such that we are not again and again pulled into money or pleasures or acquiring, selling, buying, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, the pressure on us to deal with desires is relatively less. But desires do arise. In fact, if our sadhana is poor, if we are only giving lectures and writing books, and person in our privacy, we don't do some meditation, some yoga, some asana, etc., then desires can topple us anytime.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, have Swamis also kind of
Yeah.
gone away from this path and
Oh,
gone
yeah.
back to the samsara?
There are some cases, two or three out of 100.
Acha.
Yeah, there are cases. And a good number may not go back to Grahastha ashrama, but they suffer, they feel a lot of discomfort inside, torn apart.
Internally.
And then one day they realize, all this is happening to me because I have scriptural knowledge, but I am not doing what you call anushthan. Anushthan is puja ho, jap ho, meditation ho.
The manasa, vacha, karma are not in line.
Exactly.
They are kind of.
Correct. There's a lopsided growth. And there are some who sit for hours on meditation, but they don't study. Then what happens? Their meditation goes dry because they don't have understanding of what they are meditating on. Some people like me who are good intellectuals who give talks, etc., we have a wonderful understanding of what we are talking. ब्रह्म क्या है, आत्मा क्या है, मुक्ति क्या है, ये सब हम बड़ा बड़ा लेक्चर दे देते हैं, लेकिन लेक्चर के बाद अपने कमरे में जाते हैं, बस आज के लिए हो गया, and we may just relax, we may listen to some music, we may not sit for an hour or 45 minutes in meditation.
I see.
So, those who do more anushthan but do not study will have to study more. So, they are the illumined. You must know what you are meditating on.
True.
Those who know the theory of it all but do not quieten their mind through some practices will have to strengthen themselves in that field, because there is ultimately a holistic growth needed. Manasa vacha karmana.
I see.
Correct.
So, Swamiji, you have founded a thing called FOWAI, which is Fire of Who Am I. So, I just want to know, what was the need to found something when you were already, let's say, aligned with Swami Chinmayananda Ji? He already has an organization.
In my life, two major influences took place. Right when I was with the Chinmaya mission for 18 years, within a few months, I was drawn powerfully to Ramana Maharshi.
Okay.
Yeah, Arthur Osborne's book, Teachings of Ramana Maharshi in his own words, made a tremendous impact on me. Ramana Maharshi became my Aradhya Devata, and I felt great satisfaction in the Who Am I inquiry. Therefore, I somewhat moved towards what you may call a bit of a specialization. But that also was not so much of an issue. After a few more years, now, thanks to my intellectual curiosity, I read and deeply understood J. Krishnamurthi's vision, and that threw me somewhat off balance. That is, J. Krishnamurti questioned all this packaging, all the systems and structures and social institutions and social setups, etc. He intensely talked about observing thought, observing the rise and movement of the self, he called it. What we popularly call ego, J. Krishnamurti calls the self with a lowercase s.
Okay.
The little I in us, which feels good when somebody praises us and which feels hurt or annoyed when somebody criticizes us. That is the self.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on the self and see how the self is working. That appealed to me tremendously. Therefore, without planning well in advance, within 6 months of my leaving Chinmaya mission, I ended up in Varanasi and thought 6 months I would spend there, but 10 years I was with Krishnamurthi Foundation.
Wow.
Yeah, J. Krishnamurthi Foundation, where I am a trustee now in the national body. I deeply drank of the wisdom of J. Krishnamurti. And that actually, I think now looking back, the influence of these two, Ramana and J. Krishnamurti, sort of opened another avenue for me. And rest of it is, one's own prarabdha, as they call. Various karmas are they are at work generally. Various karmic forces.
Okay. So I understand all these three's amalgamation is what made you think about that.
Even now, I do not deny Chinmayananda Ji gave me the foundation.
I see.
But after that, I built certain structures above it, drawing from Ramana Maharshi and J. Krishnamurti.
I think now that you have drank off of that wisdom, you are doing your practices and all also.
Correct.
So for a person like me, I would believe that you have attained the ultimate and all that. Then why are you still working, for example? What is it that drives you to still continue working? Why not just, many people would just go in the Himalayas or just sit by themselves.
In Gyan Marg, to study and to share that knowledge is part of sadhana. If I go to Himalayan Gufa, then there is a fear. Unless someone has tremendous vairagya, lot of detachment, one may slowly become a bit lazy. Yeah, one may plan to study a lot, meditate a lot, but since there is no pressure of having to deliver a lecture, having to write an article, or somebody comes like you are doing, ask me some questions, I have to answer.
The sharpness
and the polish and the shine will go. But 1 in 100 will do well. I don't belong to that 1 in 100.
Okay.
I still have certain tendencies to take joy, take delight in intellectual exchanges.
I see.
In fact, after 10 years in Varanasi, I tried an experiment. I went to Solan in Himachal Pradesh. 9 years I spent there in a little rented place. And though it was beneficial in a number of ways, finally I felt that I miss out discussion with people. Solan बहुत सुंदर है, शांत है, मौसम अच्छा है, but Solan has no intellectual companionship. In cities like Bangalore, Mumbai, etc., every second or third day somebody comes and we have a wonderful discussion. Students are available. So that keeps the flame burning.
Okay.
And coming to flame of who am I already said, who am I is the question Ramana Maharshi promoted. And flame of is part of a major work of J. Krishnamurti. The full title of that book is Flame of Attention.
Okay.
There is a book, Flame of Attention.
Okay.
Where Krishnamurti, several lectures are put together, and in several of the lectures in that book, he talks about how by being self-aware, if you notice anger, if you notice lust, if you notice jealousy, by being aware, that is like a flame. And he says in that flame, negativities get burnt.
Okay.
Suppose I am hurt by somebody's behavior towards me. Generally, my attention is on that person. How could he say like that about me? How could he insult me in front of all? About his behavior, I am agitated. But as I become more self-aware, while admitting maybe he did something wrong, that's a different story. But what is it that is making me so agitated? Day and night I am thinking about it. Then I see my conditionings. Then I notice my programming. Then I see how I have given undue value probably to something about me, which he did not accept. Yeah, I think my Sanskrit is good. But he said, your Sanskrit, to tell you the truth, is nowhere near so many others. Let's say, so suppose I am unduly attached to looking at myself as a very good scholar of Sanskrit. So that attachment to some image of my own is the cause of my sorrow.
I see.
And seeing that truth dissolves that hang up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is the flame that burns.
Correct.
That.
The flame of attention burns memories, burns conditionings, burns psychological burden. If I become mature, the agony and the sense of insult that I felt goes away.
I see.
I may also begin to laugh. Oh yeah, actually that day all of them laughed. I felt so embarrassed. But today looking at it, I laugh.
So Swamiji, then for you, maybe you understand like what you have a Gyan mark and you are doing these things. For a general person, like say like me, we always come up with this question, and I'm sure million people have already asked you billions of times, that what is the purpose of all this life? And is there a universal purpose, or I have to define my purpose and your purpose is different, their purpose is different? Because I know in our scriptures we say we want to know our true self, but then what good does it do in my practical life if I just get to know, okay, my true nature is Shuddha Buddha Mukta and all that.
Nitya
Now,
Shuddha Buddha.
yeah. So what is the purpose of life? How would you?
To answer this, I would use two Sanskrit words. All of us have what is called Samanya Dharma. Samanya Dharma is what is common to all.
Okay.
Dharma is what we must do. And then we have what is called Vishesha Dharma. So, as a husband, you have certain duties of a husband. As a father, you have certain duties of a father. As a guru, I have certain duties of a spiritual guru. These are Vishesha Dharma. But whether someone is husband or not, father or not, guru or not, to speak the truth, to be sincere, not to be a gulam, not to be a slave to one's own senses, these are Samanya Dharma. Because in following these values, which are common to men or women, children or adults, हमारी भलाई है उसमें. By following Samanya Dharma, our inner strength grows. If we violate Samanya Dharma, that is what is values that are common to all, our inner strength reduces. Suppose I have no self control, बहुत WhatsApp वीडियो देखते बैठता हूँ, टीवी देखता हूँ, और खाने पीने में भी 10 cups coffee, cigarette, whatever. Or even if I don't have all those socially negative things, society looks at alcohol or smoking as vices. I may not have any of them, but I in a day take so much of Haldiram namkeen खाते रहता हूँ while reading a book on self control. बहुत बढ़िया लिखा है. Then सामान्य धर्म का उल्लंघन हो गया. We violated what is, because there is a definition of dharma. It begins with self control, damaha, shamaha, and so on. Dhritikshama, damosteyam, shaucham indriya nigraha, dhihi vidya shanti, then dashakam dharma lakshanam. There is a famous shloka. All that is samanya dharma.
Okay.
But for grahasthas, certain grahastha dharma, sannyasa dharma. So these are to be followed, and that is where our well-being is. So you asked purpose.
Purpose of life.
Purpose of every human being is to move towards true happiness. And generally, in one's spiritual ignorance, one is madly pursuing material goals. They have a place in the scheme of things, but I use the adverb madly. That means because the neighbor bought a better model of car, you go and buy. Imitation, unnecessary competition. उसमें जैसे श्री कृष्ण कहते हैं गीता में, हम अपने स्वधर्म को खो देते हैं. I am imitating this person, I am imitating that person. I am not made the way he is made. I am not made the way she is made.
उनका my circumstances also
my circumstances are different, my build is different, my tastes are different, my callings are different. Therefore, initially it is through swadharma palan. Therefore, Sri Krishna emphatically says, Swadharme nidhanam shreyaha paradharmo bhayavaha. Don't imitate others. A fish should not envy a bird, how nice if I can fly. Nor should the bird envy the fish. Both of them better be
in their own places.
Yeah, in their own places they should excel. Therefore, some of us who are made for being artist or singer or in some professional, we must hone our skills there. And थोड़ा materially हम कम पाते होंगे, कोई बात नहीं. without focusing on how much we get. Of course, basic needs are important, but without making undue comparison.
So one is not to compare, but what is true happiness?
True happiness is where you don't depend on anything external. You do not have unhealthy comparisons. You know your true needs and fulfill your need, and not
Go behind
go
wants.
behind wants, go behind greed, go behind fancies. I am hungry, I go and take some food, delicious food, good food. Then, because the food is so good, I want to eat some more, the overeating. So, like one of the teachers says, stop one bite before you are full. But when we like the food, sometimes we go 3 bites after we are full. So, true happiness is
But then
where
people say ki, what if I'm enjoying this, why not have 5 more bites beyond full? What is the problem? This is what life is. If we are not eating what we enjoy,
well,
then what is the point?
because life
Long
is
term versus short
long
term.
term. Yeah, Duram Pashya Mahraswam, there is a saying. See, a long time. It's not only your happiness goes away, your ability to function also reduces. Next morning, you may not be in all that high spirits if you have overeaten. Nowadays, all of us have, a lot of us have diabetes, blood pressure, etc. I'm enjoying a sweet. Let me take one more laddu. कल से नहीं खाऊंगा. I may say, कल से खाओ या मत खाओ. But आज यदि आपने दूसरा और तीसरा लड्डू लिया, next morning you will have some headache, some weakness, tiredness, etc. Diabetes causes that. And even young people, yeah, they may not suffer immediately. But if that becomes a habit with them, later on when they get health issues or obesity, etc. In IT jobs, you sit so much in front of computer, and many people put on pounds and so on.
I see.
ये जो आदत बन गया था बहुत खाना जितना because it is enjoyable, उसको छोड़ना बहुत मुश्किल होगा.
And it is not only for food. You're saying
Yeah.
all the other senses also.
Many things, yeah, including talking. There are many people who talk so much, and then later on they realize I should not talk so much. I should allow others to talk. I should give chance to my own wife, for example. Or a lady says, I should give a chance to my husband and children. As you rightly said, it's not just food. In fact, technically, in the activity of all the 10 organs, 5 karmendriyas, 5 jnanendriyas, all of them have their unrest. उनको moderate करना short run में and long run में भी बहुत ही लाभदायक है.
I see. Okay. In spirituality, I think the most basic questions are like, what is Jiva, Jagat, and Ishvara? Like,
Yes.
what is who am I, and who is
Correct.
God? What is the world and all? So I have little bit of understanding, but maybe for our viewers also, and
Correct.
just to make it better for me also.
First of all, you have a good basic knowledge. I must tell you, being very humble, saying I have very little knowledge. So keep it up, Ullas. You have a good exposure to Vedant. This Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, and elaborate descriptions of these three, especially Jeev ka, kya rachana hai. Jiva is made of gross body, subtle body, causal body. Jiva is made of Annamaya Kosh, Pranamaya Kosh, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, the layers of personality. All these provide a wonderful setting for us to get deeper. They are not to be stuck to. We don't get stuck there. They are initially very helpful, and as we go deeper into self-knowledge, we can let go of these concepts. Therefore, they give the example of a scaffolding to whitewash or color wash a tall building. They put the scaffolding made of bamboo or made of steel rods. And after the painting is over, color wash is over, scaffolding is removed. उसी प्रकार there are so many concepts, so many definitions which Vedanta says are to be used, and as you go deeper to understand Satchit Anand Tattva, that's a higher truth. And this Panchakosh or Teen Sharir, all that can be dropped off. On higher levels of spirituality, there is a accepting different kinds of people. And as you get higher and higher, go to deeper levels of self-inquiry, it is all about keeping an eye on the subtle movement, sukshma, the movement of the ahankar. Waha, the higher Atma Gyan comes in. As Ramana Maharshi says in Upadeshasar, Maharshi covers karma, bhakti, yoga, and jnana. And yoga is in 6 verses. He gives Raja Yoga, Saramsh. He says, the whole problem is your mind is making you sorrowful. And restrain your mind. And he gives such a condensed version of spirituality. Using pranayam and prana vikshan, you can make the mind slow down. When the fan is rotating fast, you cannot see how many blades are in the fan.
Yeah.
When you slow down the fan, you see, oh, there are 3 blades. Other day in another house, there were 4 blades. Just like that, as fan slows down, you see the structure. With pranayama or prana vikshan, watching our own thought, our mind becomes slower. Then we clearly see this hurt, this jealousy, this loneliness. Unki rachna kya hai? What is their structure?
Clarity of thought.
Clarity of thought. Where a certain anguish or certain pain is genuine, where it is utterly unnecessary. To regard some thoughts as healthy, some thoughts as unnecessary. Clarity. That clarity comes by slowing down.
I see.
And then inquire, who am I?
Let's say the teacher tells me that Tattvamasi, or I have to say Aham Brahmasmi. What does it really mean, and how does it really help me again in the practical world? Let's say I say I am Brahmasmi. So now, okay, so I understand I am this entity. Now what?
This is the most fascinating thing. Just as in physics they talk about an escape velocity. Up to a certain point, the rocket is within the grip of gravity.
Right.
Later on, it just goes. Enlightenment is like this. In a coconut, when inside it dries up, then in the whole of coconut, the white portion separates out. It will be moving, inside. Or for that matter, in a football, the inside there's a bladder. So when the bladder is fully filled with air, the bladder touches the surface of the outer football. दोनों एक हो जाते हैं. They become one. But when the bladder has, inside bladder, the football में, it has a little less air. You can see that when you move it, you see there's inside some sphere. So he gave that example. When you do more inquiry, you will see the truth of the Vedanta, that you, the real you, as though have a gap between body and mind and yourself. Now something happens to the body, it has happened to me. I am dying, I am sick. Whereas in that perception that rises in us with study and meditation, in that perception, you will go to doctor, you will take medicine, but you don't make it such a big issue. The body being, unwell, some fever, some other problem. I am not the body. God willing, the body will be there for some more time. I will play my role where there is a certain joy. But God willing, otherwise, let the body go. The coconut dried portion inside starts moving inside. Otherwise, it was stuck to the shell.
Separation happens, which was all this while just because of the juxtaposition.
Correct.
It appears one.
It appears one. It became inseparable. Now it becomes separable. The anatma and the atma become separable.
Why is this body identification so hard to leave?
Right. It is a vicious circle, and we don't know where it all began. Due to avidya, due to the so-called spiritual ignorance, we went on investing more and more into the body, get so attached. And because we invested in the body, that emotionally, it went on demanding more and more from us. So, whether we pampered the body or the body made us more dependent. But somehow, mysteriously, there is an unhealthy oneness There was such a juxtaposition between the pure self and the not self. Somehow it happened. The good news is it can be ended.
So there is this Brahm is there. The scriptures say that is who we really are.
Correct.
And I think there is this another term called Maya. That what is that in your understanding?
So there is a deluded I. That deluded I welcomes Maya, wants more and more Maya. Like there is a saying, no, Vinash Kale Viparit Buddhi. A moth going fast towards fire only to die there. So avivek, lack of discrimination, makes us get into more and more trouble. But please do not forget, even as there is a deluded I which is making mistake after mistake, getting us deeper into the daldal, into the quicksand, in every one of us, there is a higher I watching, the higher I which is looking at everything. And it's a matter of time. A certain guru comes in our life teaches us a certain lesson. Then the same we who are inviting trouble would say, no more. Now I am going to be careful. So that roundabout U-turn takes place. When others are asking you, you may not. But you will do it when nobody is asking you. With a smile you say, now it's time I walk the right path. एक प्रकार का कुतूहल होगा वो. We are curious to try out this, to try out that. Pleasures, power, position. It is said even Sri Ramakrishna, an avatar, who also wanted to wear some special shining jacket once, and he tells Rani Rasmani or some, मुझे वो shirt चाहिए, jacket चाहिए. They get it. And he wears it and like a child just for a minute or two. I'm so happy wearing this jacket. Next moment he takes it out. In Ramakrishna's gospel it is described. He puts it on the ground and puts his foot upon it and says, why am I attached to this? What he enacts in 2 minutes, we sometimes enact in 20, 30, 40 years. 20, 30, 40 साल के लिए हम मोह माया में रहते हैं. लेकिन जरूर हम जगेंगे, जागेंगे एक दिन. We wake up.
You mentioned about Guru.
Yeah.
For my spiritual journey and all, can I not just go it by myself? Let's say, read the scriptures. Maybe if I know Sanskrit, great. If I not, then there are so many English translations there.
Yeah.
Indian authors, foreign authors. Watch YouTube videos of even, let's say, Swamiji's and all.
Yeah.
Or is there a need of a Guru? How do I find such a Guru? This
For 99 out of 100 people, a human contact makes a big difference. 1 out of 100, maybe the books or maybe some little bit study somewhere might work. But for 99 out of 100 among us, this is a statistical truth. We see someone in human form who is speaking with certain clarity, whose life has certain order, who has certain peace, certain serenity on her face. That makes a difference.
I see.
It speeds up. It's a catalyst.
So, like children, how they learn by watching rather than instruction. It's you're saying
exactly like that. It's like that. You are right. Even to learn bicycle, we take help of somebody. So, Guru is a truth, a fact. Some people who would say no Guru is needed, but they themselves very lovingly guided a lot of people. Maybe to be independent, but to make them independent of a Guru, they played a role of Guru. Yeah.
So how do I find a Guru then? Like, do I make somebody on YouTube my Guru? Is that good enough? Or I need to have, you said, a human connect has to be there. So I need to be in physical presence of somebody. And in that presence, am I only learning by watching their conduct? Or is it that they are able to make sense of those scriptures in a way that I can understand it better? So is it like they're helping me intellectually or they're helping me in a way of, okay, how do they live their life?
Both. It's a combination. The Guru's example, how he lives, how he conducts himself, and his instruction. Technically, the instructions are more important.
Okay.
But practically, his example also makes a big difference. See, Swami Chinmayananda Ji came to my life in 1980. 84, I joined his ashram. After another 9 years, he dropped his body. But today, after 32 years after he left his body and went, I still have him on my altar. Why? Not just because of intellectual stuff, how beautifully he explained things. In the 13 years where I used to see him frequently, periodically, what I observed in him, a certain courage, a certain straightforwardness, certain charisma, certain conquest over senses. He worked so joyously for probably 18 hours a day till his last, and very impartial, very loving, making others also rise, not just showing off his knowledge. He made others also teachers and so on. So, a lot of those real life examples, and a good amount of it I saw with my own eyes, played a major role in my continuing to think of those teachings. But we should not worry much about it. As the example goes, when the flower blossoms, the
Bees.
bee comes. So let's not worry about whether we got a guru like he got. He got a guru.
But we are always in, like, some many people are in guru shopping.
Guru shopping.
So,
And there also comparison.
Yeah. So, and it's a real thing, right? Like, one is we can brush it away, but are you saying that, is that true, that I just wait? It'll happen when something happens. We just,
No, the just
or
wait.
should I be
doesn't
going
mean
for in a quest for it? Or?
quest? Keep your quest bright. Keep your Jnasa. You want to know, you want to inquire. Don't allow yourself to either slip into tamas. Kafi pad liya hu, I don't have to read more. That could be tamas. Neither go into rajas, which may look it more into quantity. I have read 7 Upanishads, another 3 Upanishads I will read as though it is like target, So rajas makes us have an aggressive and less informed view of things. Sattva constantly reminds us, I want to study more, but I am not going to make a big issue of quantity. It is a quality. I would rather understand one wonderful, deeper truth than memorize or collect and write or speak on lot of stuff. So, in a sattvic way, if we keep our quest alive and vibrant, then whatever divine intervention has to happen in the form of a guru, that will happen in a way that is more suitable to you. It doesn't have to be like the way it happened to him or her. Yeah.
I see. So you just mentioned that, let's say if I have read 7 Upanishads,
correct,
and now I feel like, okay, I understand what they're talking about. So why is it unhealthy to think that I don't really need to read other things now, or I need to revise these things? Because, okay, I have understood 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Now, what is the point of reading in million other ways that 2 plus 2 is equal to 4? I have understood it. So, but you said that it is perhaps tamas. Or now what the other thing is, okay, sometimes I do feel that, okay, I have read 7, but I want to know, okay, what this Upanishad says.
Yes.
Now, what is like, maybe they have a different style of saying. There's a intellectual curiosity is there. So how should I deal with that?
The problem is we are not empty shells. We have a lot of purva vasanas, purva sanskaras. If we do not keep reading, if we do not keep studying, slowly we forget what we had understood. Even 2 plus 2, 4 we forget. And these vasanas which make us extrovert, which make us image conscious. I want to become famous. My name should be there. I actually am more worthy than her. So this I, my will again rise. To keep them under check, continued study is reading. And talking of 2 plus 2, in a way it is right example, but another way, spirituality has certain subtleties. ऐसे सूक्ष्म तत्व, ऐसे बहुत ही गहरे सत्य अध्यात्म में है, which are comparable with Einstein's theory of relativity and so on. And you and I will agree that Einstein's theory of relativity, how space is curved or how time is not absolute, even though we have understood 20 times, if some younger person asks, our son or daughter asks us, Papa, please explain to me, what is the meaning of time slowing down? Can we answer right away? You pause for a moment. Beta, baito. ऐसा है to explain time slows down or time can speed up, whatever connection with the speed of light, we need to do a little reflection. In that way, how my sense of I is a myth, it's not true. My present sense of I, my notion I am okay or my notion I am not okay, both are in Maya, both are delusion. The real I doesn't rise and fall. So, to understand that, we need to have essential study. Therefore, like they say, a copper vessel has to be cleaned daily to keep it shining.
It's like brushing your teeth every day.
Brushing our teeth every day, yeah, like that. So, and if we are alert enough, we certainly will avoid unnecessary repetition. We'll be selective. We'll try to go for something that takes us further, higher, and so on.
So let's say I am a beginner. Now I have that kutuhal has arisen in me.
Yeah.
That okay, this whole thing is going on fine, well, but I want to get. So now, how do I start my spiritual journey? Like maybe the first answer people give you, okay, you go start reading Gita, and then maybe you will find your way, and you can go from there. Is Gita the first thing? How should I start that, and what should be my whole strategy around that?
No, frankly, in the human world, human beings are of such diversity. So, depending on one's personality type, one has to take the marga. Last month we were in Himachal Pradesh. We visited one ashram. The guru there asked me, आप क्या करते हैं, आपकी साधना क्या है, इस शिविर में क्या कार्यक्रम है? I said, we give 3 lectures on Gita every day in this shibir. And he smiled and said, in a single day 3 lectures, so much you talk, ये सब digest होता है क्या? I kept quiet because their way, it is actually in the lineage of Paramahamsa Yogananda.
Okay.
Actually, that guru is disciple of Paramahamsa Yogananda's grand guru, Lahiri Mahashaya's disciple is.
Okay.
But broadly speaking, that Mahavatar Baba, उनके बाद लहिरी महाशय, लहिरी युक्तेश्वर के डिसाइपल परमहंस योगानंद. करेक्ट. ये स्वामी जी बहुत अच्छे स्वामी जी है. उन्होंने हम सब के प्रति बहुत प्यार दिखाया. 4 घंटे हम उनके आश्रम में थे. Broadly speaking, they are into Kriya Yoga. There it is lot of meditation, a little study, because that suits people of certain personality type.
I see.
For a lot of us who went behind Swami Chinmayananda and Paramarthananda and so on, we are of a different personality type. For us, several lectures, listening a lot to many, there's no problem of digestion. Our clarity rises. We enjoy it.
Correct.
Therefore, शुरुआत कैसे करे? How can one start, you asked. Everybody should find out, am I relatively more made for bhakti, more meditation, kriya yoga vagera, raj yoga. It's a variation.
So how do I find that out?
Trial and error.
Yeah. So do this, do that, do this, do that, and then slowly you will gravitate towards what you are calling.
Gravitate towards and make a wise decision to reduce other things.
Ultimately, you are a follower of Shankara's teaching and all.
Yes.
And he says that only Jnana Yoga can take you there, nothing else. Other things might prepare your mind to be ready for Jnana Yoga.
Moksha is only through Jnana, but Chitta Shuddhi ke liye ye karma or upasana.
But I hear to so many like divine saints and all, they would say like right now Kali Yuga is there. Only Bhakti. Naam is the only solution. There is nothing else you can. All this jnana and all is all very dry stuff, but this is not going to get you. So what is your take on that?
We respect them, and therefore, since they are saying at such loud voice, we do integrate some Nam Japa in our sadhana. If these masters who highlighted Nam Jap were not to be in our life, we perhaps would have missed out on something. So we have integrated it. But for a large number of people, it is literally true. For us, it's not literally true. Because what they say is, Naam Jap hi kafi hai. No. If I try to do Naam Jap only, I will go to sleep. I will slip into tamas. I will lose all enthusiasm in spirituality. For me, some intellectual exercise which takes me beyond the intellect, it drives me to silence. It is not just pleasure of intellectualism. The intellectual dimension is the starting point. Very soon I realize, wow, not only my anger is false, the entity that got angry itself is like a software program. You know, a lot of our intellectual exercises give to us such aha moments where we are no more caught in buddhi. We enjoy inner silence. We enjoy certain love. We enjoy certain reconciliation with what life has brought to us. Therefore, people like us should not go into full nama japa, with all due respect to them. But it's good to integrate it.
So, and then there are certain school of thoughts which say that seva is the primary goal of life.
Correct.
Like to come out. But is that also for chitta shuddhi only?
Yes, yes. Because seva mein, this I and my,
That gets dissolved.
that reduces. If you do seva truly, then it is the sorrow of the other person which has to go down. I don't have to get anything. You wipe the tears of somebody, he is now smiling and goes, you are very happy. You don't ask, what did I get in it?
But let's say if I don't do seva in that technical form,
Correct.
and if I am following Jnana Marga,
Yeah.
and then maybe I am getting chitta shuddhi through other means,
Yeah,
like let's
enough,
say bhakti
enough.
or naam. But there would be certain thing in me feeling like, oh, they are telling you should do seva, seva, seva. I'm not doing it.
No, not
Now,
necessary.
how do I reconcile that? So
We should not come under those influences excessively. We should know that, yeah, that works out for many people. In fact, there is a famous saying in English, right? Charity begins at home. If you are more understanding towards your spouse and children, less impatient, less judgmental, you are.
it's bigger seva than.
It is a big, great seva. It is, rather than fretting and fuming and just saying, no, don't do that. I'm telling you, do this. I'm going to office now. You go. Rather than that, with children, growing up children, with the spouse who has her own mind, if there is a greater amount of, caring conversation, neither hastily agreeing to whatever she says, nor standing the ground, आज मैंने तय किया है हमेशा she wins in the argument. Today, whatever it is, I'm going to say if it is dark, I will say it is broad daylight. मैं मानूंगा ही नहीं. Where you let go of that obstinacy, that is seva. Chitta shuddhi वहाँ आती है.
I see.
Yeah. Neither unduly agreeing nor obstinately disagreeing.
Okay.
Some flexibility you develop, then the I, me and my has reduced. So Raj Yoga also I follow. I try to do asana pranayam to some extent. Who can deny? Some exercise, some Surya Namaskar, etc.
Okay. So some people I have also heard saying that why do we want to do all this meditation and all? I can anytime close my eyes and I will have no thoughts and all. You're sitting for 20 minutes, no productivity. It's such a waste of time. I have even gone through some Twitter handles in which I have seen some great yogi who's sitting in Himalayas and he like maybe for 50 days he's just practicing in great snowstorm and all. People are saying this is a waste of human effort, like human
potential,
human potential. If you would have done something, but then there are other people are saying no, but he's showing like what we are capable of, and like he's an example. So why meditation, and why should people do it?
Right. Meditation is necessary even for a Jnana yogi to stabilize oneself in a certain perception. Even in interpersonal relationships. So I have a conflict with somebody, as we just now discussed, between spouses and so on. In any relationship, thanks to some sattva rising in me, one day I suddenly see in that other person a good side. But next moment, because of old habits, I am likely to again label him as he is very selfish, No, I think I judged him wrongly all these days. In him also there is a noble side. Now, I want to internalize it. I want to be more stable in that, so that my relation with that other person, that's the character of meditation.
Okay.
I gave the analogy of interpersonal relationship, but we need to stabilize ourselves in the beautiful teachings with which we agree.
Mm-hmm.
But it is not become our
Yes,
outlook.
100%.
To
The
become
nishtha is not there.
Nishtha is not. That's
So,
the word.
yeah. So we intellectually understand I am Brahmasmi
Correct.
and whatnot.
We intellectual understand, we get glimpses of that experience also. कितना अच्छा लगता है. जैसे I don't need anything in life. वाह.
तो चला जाता है.
Tomorrow I lose my job, who cares? Tomorrow people leave me, not that I want them to leave, but for some reason. Fine.
So
Some people leave, so be it. 10 people leave me, some new 10 people come. I will, whatever I was giving love to these people, I will give love to those people. You know, a loss here is a gain somewhere. One door closes and 3 doors open. That kind of state of mind we get at times. That is to be stabilized. Nishtha pani ki jarurat hai. Yeah, that is meditation.
Most of the Vedantic students struggle with this only. Like they do understand it, but that nishtha is a forever task.
Correct.
It doesn't come only.
Correct.
So
They
you're
get
saying,
distracted.
is meditation is the answer, or it's like the major chunk of that?
Meditation is a popular version of it, but there is what is called informal meditation. You may not call it meditation too. Here and there, when you have a beautiful outlook, you know, without doing Padmasana, maybe sitting with legs crossed and with a cup of tea in hand, if you stay in that outlook, yeah, how true. I always misunderstood that uncle of mine, but nowadays I am seeing he did so much for me. Yeah, so repeat it as you sip tea. That was a meditation where your perspective towards an uncle whom you had misunderstood from childhood.
So I understand what you're saying is like developing that Sakshi Bhava witness
Sakshi Bhava,
principle.
correct.
But sometimes we also say that you should reduce that self chatter. We should keep on continuing talking to ourselves. So how do you differentiate a self chatter versus a
true meditation?
True meditation, that witness consciousness.
So when meditation is increasingly free from phrases and words, shlokas and mantras, Sanskrit or some jargon, meditation is increasingly a certain outlook, a certain way of seeing yourself. Then you are free of that chatter. Because we get attached to words. Those of us who are good in Sanskrit, sometimes we are struggling to find the second half of the shloka. Tab tak satya dur chala gaya. Truth went away. You know. So I had that some time back. Nowadays, even lectures, sometimes I forget the second half of the shloka. I say, who cares? I am not here to show my scholarship. I am trying to convey truth to them. That shloka I remember or not doesn't matter. I just leave it and peacefully I continue to explain the truth. So when we don't worry about words, particular graphs or graphics, etc., but uska saar ko pakad ke, you hold the essence and stay there, then it is free of chatter. Ultimately, the excellence in life is to stay in a beautiful serene state. To stay in love and compassion, as some masters say.
So there is another word that gets thrown around a lot, right? Like vairagya and detachment and all. Are you, is it to understand that I have to materially attain like the fullest and then it will come, or I can just, for example, Gita was given to Arjun, who had pretty much excelled in everything out there materially, and only he was then perhaps eligible. Otherwise, we'll always have a longing for that. Ki, Arey, main wo car, so mujhe wo car bhi le lo, ghar bhi le lo, then that detachment will come, or for some people it's okay that it comes earlier. Like, how do you?
It's both ways. Vairagya is increasing on a scale, and ability to practice higher spiritual disciplines on another scale. So we don't have to wait for Vairagya to reach 9 out of 10 to do these things. In fact, depending on the level of Vairagya you have reached, on a scale of 10 you are up to at 4, your scale of 10 you are at 5. Depending on that, the kind of exercises you successfully will do are decided. Even if you try something higher, it won't work. So you try both places, the exercises, particular sadhanas, You try as high as possible and develop your Vairagya. That matching will take place automatically.
I see. That balancing will happen.
Balancing totally. If you try something higher, you won't be able to do it. And Vairagya also grows slowly at its own pace. But an open mind, a learning mind, ready to inquire, that is important.
So there is, they say that everything is changing, whatever
Yeah.
we see around, and only change is constant, and ultimately everybody is going to die.
Correct.
Why are we so bothered about these things and all?
Correct.
So I want to understand, what is death? Is it painful experience? And what can I do to, let's say, reduce the pain of that death?
So it comes to a certain Vairagya, a detachment, which also can be expressed as broader your outlook, less will be your fear of death. And if this broader outlook towards life is not mere words, but it is certain inner experience, then literally you will not be afraid to die. Lot of us scholars who have written books or read books may say all this, but when actually it comes to the state of mind, we may not have broader outlook. What is absence of broader outlook? We are attached to some small thing. We are attached to property, or we are attached to a certain relationship.
Any advice on parenting apart from the usual one that let's not just tell them, instruct them, let's
Correct.
live the things that we want to teach them.
Correct,
Let's not
correct.
be only instruct. How do we deal with our children, and like when do we introduce them to, let's say, a spiritual journey?
Parents, to the extent possible, should keep a communication channel on, even if it is brief discussions here and there on issues of life, so that a bridge is built. Many parents have no bridge. The bridge is broken. When the girl or boy grows up, there's hardly anything that the two can discuss. So with your exposure to philosophy, with exposure to life, the art of living, I'm sure you have material with which, without using technical jargon, you can communicate with them about issues of emotions, issues of right and wrong, etc. And as you keep a communication channel on, it doesn't have to be, of course, every day 10 minutes, etc. It doesn't work like that. But here and there, on various occasions, you have gone on a picnic, you have gone on some other job together, and there was sometimes some issue happened. If you discuss with your children, then they also take interest. They also have a certain regard for you. That day, Papa gave the view and I disagreed, but he was right. Or some other day, Papa was wrong. Whatever, there was a communication going on. Then, on some occasions where you find, according to you, your child is going in a wrong direction, you will be able to open some communication about it. Are you sure you want to do this? I think you should not do it. And then you can refine the communication.
I see.
Rather than showing anger. After all, you know their nature. Therefore, I would put it this way: when you differ with your son, let us say, in some matter, you can get into a certain interaction with him in a tamasic manner, where you are just obstinate. I won't let you do it. Don't do it. Go, I'm busy with something. It's a tamasic way. Or rajasic way, where you express a lot of emotion. And he says, what is this? Why is dad so emotional? Silly. I am doing right thing. And sattvic way is, you listen to him, you talk to him, and you are assertive. You do express, but without hurting his self-pride. Language, body language as well as verbal. Like I can tell my son, if you do that, you are the most foolish person on the earth, I tell you. This is hurting his pride. Whereas if I ask him a question, oh, okay, Sunil, you want to do that. Are you sure it is wise to do? You ask a question. You didn't say it is foolish. You are asking him whether it is wise or foolish. Then he says, Papa, why do you ask this? I have thought over it a lot. But beta, I see that there is a little, I have a concern about that other dimension.
Understood.
Express a concern. Make him think. So it is said, there is, you may have heard the shloka, when a child touches 16 years, thereafter a child should be treated as a friend. There is a shloka. First 5 years, pamper the child. Next 10 years, be strict with him. Prapte tu shodashe varshe, putre mitravadacharet. That's how it goes. The spirit of it, we should not go literally for 16 or 18. The spirit of it is, there should be like more respectful communication. And all children do not, deserve, sorry to say that, the same respect. Some need to be a bit handled with a little strictness, because though they are older, emotionally not mature. Unke saath we have to be a bit strict. Some others do, even if they are younger, they actually deserve to be treated with.
So what will be your advice to, let's say, youngsters who are, let's say, 20-25-year-olds, like, okay, now that you have achieved this age, these are the 3 things you better take care of?
There are many ways, but one way I can share with you is, share with them the wisdom of Sat Chit Anand. Sat means live and let live. Chit means you gain knowledge and don't stand in the way of others gaining knowledge. Chit is knowledge. Ananda is, do you live in such a way that your seeking happiness doesn't rob others of happiness. जियो जीने दो, जानो जानने दो, और सुखी रहो और दूसरों को भी सुखी रहने में प्रोत्साहन दे दो, और make it possible. This can be very broad principles for their various dealings. So if they are in a corporate world, for example, he has a job, there may be a work on project where actually you are exploiting some rural people. That goes against जियो जीने दो. बेटा तुमको ये करने से बहुत बोनस भी मिलेगा, प्रमोशन भी मिलेगा, जानता हूँ, but see the Sat principle, you are advancing, you're rising ladder, you're climbing the ladder, but उस गांव में बहुत लोग बर्बाद हो जाएंगे इस प्रोजेक्ट से. Your multinational company closes its eyes. There are a lot of ethical, moral issues.
Last question, Swamiji. What are the life learnings, let's say, top 3 of your own?
Immediately a thought comes to me. My life learning. Over these 68 years of my life.
You don't look 68.
Thank you. We are giving compliments to each other. I have seen that in 3 domains, Satya, Ahimsa and Brahmacharya. Satya, Ahimsa and Brahmacharya, I have seen there is so much to learn. And I have seen that they are not 3 different things at all. If you violate Satya, your Brahmacharya and Ahimsa also will go for a toss. If you violate Brahmacharya, you cannot remain a Satyavadi anymore. If you violate Ahimsa, your Brahmacharya and Satya go for a tailspin. So, by real life situations of others, of myself, various experiences, collectively and individually, I have gained some amount of life learning that if really we want to rise to the heights of spirituality, Vedanta, we have to again and again look into how much Satya is in my life, how much Ahimsa is in my life, how much Brahmacharya is in my life, taking all the 3 words in a broader sense.
Right.
Yeah, not in some
not
narrow.
Just the gross level,
Yeah, not at a gross level. The other day in one talk I said, if you open your mobile saying, I'll just see whether there are important messages, and then you go on watching some old Bawarchi movie of Rajesh Khanna, whole movie dekh liya उस रात को. फिर
happens.
Happens. फिर 12:30 बजे सोए फिर. You violated Brahmacharya there. Because Brahmacharya means in the matter of pleasure. It could be pleasure related to watching a movie, eating. And then next day boss asks, why are you late? You will tell a lie also. Satya ud gaya.
Satya.
और उसके बाद some colleague says something at the work and you get so angry. You always interfere in me. अहिंसा चली गई. So रात को बावर्ची मूवी देखा. वाह वाह वाह, राजेश खन्ना उधर इज सच ए वंडरफुल हेल्पफुल पर्सन, सबका मदद करता है, कितना एंटरटेनिंग है, बहुत आनंद आया. कल यू पे फॉर इट, फॉर दैट उल्लंघन ऑफ ब्रह्मचर्य. सत्य का उल्लंघन करोगे बॉस से, सर सम गेस्ट हैड कम सर, उनको एंटरटेन कर रहा था रात को, उसीलिए थोड़ा मैं स्लीपी हूँ. यू डोंट से यू सॉ बावर्ची. सत्य उड़ गया. एंड देन कोलीग्स को डांटने में अहिंसा भी उड़ गई. They all, he was never, nowadays he gets angry, he's short temper हो गया इनका, they say. So my life learning is, it's a beautiful teaching, Satya Ahimsa Brahmacharya. उसको बार बार याद करना जरूरी है.
Perfect, Swamiji. Thank you so much.
Thank
this
you.
was such a comprehensive session. I really learned many things which I would try to implement in my life, and I'm sure it will be very helpful for our viewers.
I'm also very pleasantly surprised at a beautiful set of questions you came up with without referring to sheets, etc. So it
just
has
my
been,
own personal questions.
it has been a very enjoyable session. Thank you. Keep in touch. Namaste viewers. Namaste.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
If you like such podcasts, please do subscribe to the channel and like this video and share it with your friends.